Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. My name is Jamie. You might know me better as Image in all the SuperStar games. So that's SM, JYP, STARSHIP, WOOLLIM, GFRIEND, YG, FNC, the SuperStar, and Kang Daniel, and P-Nation that's about to come out soon. But anyways, so in this video, there is this wonderful YouTube thing that I found. So turns out that once you search SSRG tips and tricks, there are these videos from this guy. I'm gonna call him Nikito Gaming because that's his YouTube name. But anyways, I remember 10 months ago when the video first uploaded, I first saw this video and I was like, these tips are kind of not that good. They're kind of bad, you know, just to be honest with you guys. And now if you look at this, it's one of the most viewed videos once you search SSRG tips and tricks, and he has 2 more videos out there. So for me, I've played SuperStar games since 2017, so that's nearly 4 years of every single game, and I play all of them, and I have like world records and R99s and R50s and all of those games. So I'm going to be watching these videos, and I'm going to be giving my feedback towards whether these tips are actually useful or not, because right now there's a whole bunch of people who look at these videos and are like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed, thank you for your help. But it turns out that maybe this is not actual good help. So I guess we're gonna be watching all 3 of these videos. So yeah, the first video is SuperStar Rhythm Games top 10 tips and tricks to improve / help your gameplay. So guess we will get into it.
Hey, is that SuperStar SM you're playing right
Yes,
now?
SuperStar
Yeah.
SM.
What about
Technically SuperStar SMTOWN, but
Haha, you kind of
okay, hold on. So if he has R45s or an R55s on Zimzala Beam and he only scored like 3.5 million, that's only around like an R1 level. That's only an R1 level score. Like an R41 should be like around like 4.7 or higher. Like even if you do like miss a lot of notes, it should at least be 4 million score, which is like a really big baseline. So this is kind of it's a funny screen.
Haha, you kind of trees the Zimzala Beam. Ha, noob. Hello, welcome to this video on top 10 tips and tricks
Top
for
10.
improving your gameplay on any SuperStar rhythm games. Actually, it doesn't really like only apply in SuperStar rhythm games. It might help your struggle. I know there's a lot of out there that's struggling with the game right now. I can't 3-star this. Why do I keep getting goods? Whatever it is, what's the result?
Oh, there's a very good reason why you're getting goods, and I hope he explains it very well.
It's been few years I played this game and any other rhythm game as well. Without further ado, these are the top tips and tricks, also recommendations that might help you improve in your gameplay. So, number 1, calibration. So this, well, most of you have done this before. It's a very quick thing to do. That's the first thing you do when you play this game. First thing you do is calibration for the screen. Before we get into that, it's definitely I'll talk about the correct way to set calibration because I'm not sure that anyone's still not able to make a good calibration. That is what you
He is taking a really long time explaining this. Calibration. Yeah, again, there's like a very simple way of talking about it, and I guess I have to sit through all 20 of these minutes to figure out what he's actually gonna say. So, okay, I guess we're just going through this then. He's taking so long to explain. I hate this. Why is it taking you so long to explain this? I literally cannot. I have to like. How long is this tip? Okay. So if this is what we're 6 minutes 20, 6 minutes 20, 6 minutes 21. He started talking about this in a minute, like a minute 30. He spent like 5 minutes talking about calibration, okay? Alright, so let me just tell you right now what the heck calibration is. So, you have this thing when you first start the game. It's called touch timing. So what touch timing actually is when the notes come down, you touch it. And then depending on when you touch it, that's when the game senses that, hey, this person tends to tap a little early. We're gonna make it sense, we're gonna have it calibrated to be a little bit earlier. So then if this person plays the game and they tap all their notes earlier, it'll be counted as correct. And he didn't even talk about that once. And it hurts because he's talking about, hey, there are eye tappers and then there are hear tappers, I think. That's what he said. Eyes is you look at the notes and then you predict where they're gonna be, and then ear tappers are when you're listening and then you go with the beat of the song. I personally think that both have to exist for someone to be good, honestly. But of course, for games like SM until WOOLLIM, no, SM until GFRIEND, those songs, the way that the game system works are all x-axis. So that means that left and right, that matters more than the actual timing. Okay, so this right here is a wonderful little diagram that is sent to me from T. You know, let down, 2K, T, yeah. So this is a wonderful diagram. So FNC and YG, you can see that you have goods, perfects, and S perfects that are greatly determined by the timing at which you hit it. So you can see that your SP doesn't matter how left or right you hit it. As long as the note is along this little area right here, when you tap it, then it counts as a super perfect. If it's earlier or later, then it's a perfect. If it's really early or really late, it's a good. Now for SM and JYP and everything else, besides FNC and YG and the new games, the SuperStar and Kang and probably P-Nation, so these notes, you can see that the perfects are determined by left and right. And then your super perfect range is a lot bigger, but the goods still occur when you're hitting it too early or too late. Y-axis, it doesn't matter where you tap it. It only matters when you tap it. For X-axis games, so that's everything else, it depends on where you tap it, and when you tap it, it's kind of like whatever. It only gives you a good if you're like really early or if you're really late, or sometimes when you like connect sliders on accident from past note to a new note, then you'll get a good. But it's a lot harder to get goods. Okay, let's just... I honestly can't do this. I have to watch on 2x speed. This is... I thought this would be a lot easier, but I can't.
So you look at them and hit all those notes. Little free song. So this is recommending to use finger sleeves or changing your screen protector to matte, tempered glass matte or matte screen protector. So
okay, this point, you don't need finger sleeves. Like, this is, like, I know there's really, like, super serious players in this game, but no one fucking uses finger sleeves, okay? Like, what? Okay, the most hardware kind of thing that anyone really has is screen protectors, because every phone should come with a screen protector. And yes, it is easier to slide on screen protectors, but I don't know why he's recommending, like, finger sleeves. Where do you even get finger sleeves? What? Okay, so I guess that finger sleeves are more of like an arthritis thing. Ah, these are the gaming finger sleeves. You don't need those. I can like tell you that like no one who's like actually playing this game like depends on finger sleeves. Like you just learn to play with it. You just learn. There's no like, I have finger sleeves, I'm a better player. Like it might make things easier, yeah, but like at the end of the day, you just wasted your money on finger sleeves for this game. Like, who are you? Are you really winning?
Do not spam the same song once you're tilted. I mean, you can spam songs, but not until you are feeling angry, feeling depressed. Stop.
So, for this tip about don't spamming the same song, it's not like don't spam the same song. It's more like take a break when you need to. That's like the better tip that you could probably get from it. Like spamming the same song with that kind of title, you actually need like a good reason for it. So with the title of don't spam the same song, the reason is if you play the same song over and over again, then you get tired, you get more your brain becomes more like negative feeling towards the song, so you just feel like you can do a lot less. But the general tip is like if you're being overwhelmed, if you feel like there's a song that you really can't do, then just take a break and then come back to it later. Maybe you can switch around, play other songs first, and then come back to it, because you can't take too much of the same thing and have it be healthy. That's the actual tip. I honestly hate this video because he takes so long to explain everything.
So some of the songs that I try to aim, I couldn't do it at all. Maybe because my fingers are slow or something. I'm bad at fingers, and when it comes to like hard songs. So I will use my iPad. So I will choose the index fingers, and voila, done. The song's 3 stars. Oh, full perfect. What it is. It lags all the damn time. So
Look at this guy. He has f***ing finger sleeves. What the f***?
I have a phone right now, and I'm using it to record actually right now. So get a good device. You gotta get a super high-end flagship phones. Please.
Oh, I'm sorry. He already went past. Okay. He already went through this tip. Okay, so tip number 4 was switch playstyles. There's only 2 playstyles you can do. You either play with your thumbs or you play with your index fingers. I'm pretty sure that if you don't like one way, you can try the other. Like, you personally, every person themselves know that if something doesn't work, you try something else. You don't need this guy to tell you that. Like, I don't think this is even like a tip. This is just like, do you play with your thumbs or do you play with your index fingers? Whichever way, it's fine, because we're still playing the same game and it doesn't matter too much as long as you find a way that works for you. Like, that's how a playstyle works. You don't need to have someone recommend you that, hey, if your thumbs aren't that good, try using your index fingers. You don't need someone to tell you that. I'm pretty sure you already figured that out on your own. Like, oh my god, okay. Okay, I hate this. Okay, so this one, the 5th tip is talking about getting a good device, which is, like, fair enough. Getting a good device to play your games is like, yeah, of course, I'm gonna do that. Because, if your phone is really laggy or your phone is really small, then you just can't play this game, like, consistently. Because if your skill is, like, really good, but then sometimes your phone falters, or your tablet or whatever falters, then of course it becomes more of a hardware problem than your own personal problem. Like, if you can't play that well because of your hardware, then you just kind of have to get a good one. Like, if your hardware is not that good, you already know that when you're like using YouTube or you're looking on Instagram for everything. Like, you already know. And then like your snap stories compared to everyone else looks kind of ugly. Having a good or bad device is something that you already naturally know as well. These are not good tips. None of these so far are like about the actual gameplay. The only one is like touch timing, and then he spent like 5.5 minutes talking about it, and he probably lost most of the audience. It is horrible.
So there's fast songs, there's slow songs like ballad songs, or maybe rock songs that are faster, that's higher BPMs. Whenever you play the song, you hear bits like.
I don't need this guy to be clapping at me. Okay, so beat studies. He's just talking about how when you have certain notes, each note's at a certain length, and it goes with the actual like rhythm of the music. That is not that important in this game. Of course, if you understand music, then this game would be easier. But for him to be talking about, hey, there's whole notes, triplet notes, quarter notes, dotted 3/8 notes, like, you don't need that much stuff. You just tap blue notes and you tap yellow notes. The only thing that you should really think about when it comes to like how the charting works with the song is just staying with the beats, because most of the time when someone talks or when someone sings or the beat happens, when there's instrumental, it goes on beat. That's like the most you just need to know. There's nothing like if you know whole notes or whatever, you're gonna be better at this game, because what matters more is if you can actually hit the notes with your thumbs or with your fingers, if you're actually trained to make these movements to actually hit these notes. Because it doesn't matter whether you know them or not, what matters is if you can do it or not. So what's more important is that you actually practice the game and you actually get used to all these movements for you to be able to successfully play this game. Oh boy.
Okay, tip number 7. Rewatch your own gameplay by recording, or watch any videos from YouTube. I mean...
Okay, the problem with this guy is that whenever he talks about something really simple, he just extends it for like such a long time. It's horrible. So number 7 is just rewatch your gameplay. What it means is if you have any issues with a certain part of the song, then you just record your own gameplay, and then you watch it to see where you messed up. You can also see the patterns for the actual song, so you get used to them. Especially for a tough song like Chinese Woof Woof, that one has a specific pattern that most people will not be able to get on the first time. But once you like study up enough, if you like recognize the patterns and you learn the patterns, those who do know the pattern actually can like complete the song really easily. 3-star, no problem, because they know what to do with their hands. They know the position and the order that they need to tap it in. It's the same thing for a lot of songs like GFRIEND Eclipse, or just in general. You have other songs like the newest NCT Dream song for Hot Sauce. Like those ones also have patterns, but when you play enough songs, you start recognizing a lot more of these patterns. During Hot Sauce, when you have marks like got it, got it, got it, and then you have the left side which has the weird sliders. There's a lot of songs that actually have those sliders. Once you get used to like those, you know, I call them elbow sliders, because like when you bend your arm, you look like the sliders. For those notes, it's a lot like for me, it's a lot like Cherry Bomb, and I've played through Cherry Bomb enough times to know what these sliders are and how to actually hit them. So it's easier for me on the first try because I'm already used to the pattern. It's not just, you know, rewatch your gameplay, know the patterns, learn everything for the specific song. It's also playing a whole bunch of songs, so you hit a whole bunch of different series of notes. So once you actually do see the patterns, then you kind of understand what to do. That's why there's some songs with these triplet notes, like in SuperStar YG TOP Doom Dada. You have the da 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 shower, and then da 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 da, like the triplet on the middle and the triplet on the left. These are all patterns that you should know.
Tip number 8 is not a very good tip, to be honest, but that's what I do usually. It's called shadow.
Okay, if this is the top 10 tips and tricks, then why are you talking about a tip that might not be that good? Like, it hurts.
Tapping, where you tap when there's no notes during the songs. This is usually done during playing on those. These are usually.
Okay, okay, if this is not a good tip, okay, this is actually not a good tip. Okay, so shadow tapping, if anything, the only thing that you do with shadow tapping, I technically do this when you actually watch all of my gameplay videos, is that I hit my thumb and I slide it across the whole thing so I see the lanes that light up. Anything that's lit up is a lane that a note will come down. And when you understand the difference between those notes, that's how you hit super perfects. The difference between those lanes. So with him talking about shadow tapping, is just when there's downtime, you can just shadow tap so you kind of get used to the rhythm of the song or something like that. It's not good, because whenever you shadow tap, there's always a really good chance that you're going to hit a good, because there's going to be a note coming down fast enough that you're going to be shadow tapping, but your shadow tap turns into an actual tap. So you're just going to hit a good instead of like, I don't know, just no reason why you should shadow tap. That's horrible.
You can tap like when the beat comes. You can be like tap.
You don't want to recommend this to people. You don't want to recommend people that, hey, you should try shadow tapping. That'll help with your gameplay. No one says that. This makes no sense. Oh my god. Oh. I don't know what to do. This video is just horrible. It's telling people to shadow tap.
But you can do it like tap, tap, tap. So it's like an extra shadow tap on there.
And then he's talking about doing it in normal or easy mode. If you're playing in normal mode or easy mode, shadow tapping does not help you, because what only matters is how well you play in hard mode. And then doing those things in these modes, like what's the point? What's it gonna do?
Like more reaction time. Input more beat into
You don't need reaction time in normal mode or easy mode. No one cares about that. Do it in hard mode, if anything, and even then you shouldn't. Shadow tapping is not a good tip.
Good, you have to don't press too hard on those notes. I mean, when you play your thumbs, especially when there are a lot of fast notes, you tend to hit very fast and very hard just to hit it, just to get it perfect. And that tends to make you unable to see the screen properly because you are shaking a lot, so that causes a lot of problems to your gameplay.
Okay, number 9 is just talking about don't tap too hard, which I guess is like, this is like the actual like first good tip maybe. Like, yeah, don't tap too hard. Just tap what you need to. There's no extra reason for it. It's just you don't get more points if you hold it down harder. As long as the phone tells that, hey, your thumb is here, your finger is here, I will count this note. That's the only thing that matters. So yeah, there's not much more to talk about.
Focus on your game if you want to improve. Not just like, hey, I'm playing it every day. And I mean, if you really do focus on it, I'm not playing just dailies, then it's okay.
Okay, this last tip is just focus. Like, you go into the game, you focus on the game, you understand the game. That's what focusing is. There's like nothing that he talked about the actual game functions. So like top 10 tricks and tips to help like okay, like it would help a lot more if you actually explain the game function. So the only thing that I want you, whoever's watching the video, hi, what's up, how's it going? The only thing I want you to take away is this wonderful chart, okay? There's also one other thing, let's see. Okay, so I also made this. How long has it been? 10 months? Yeah, it came out literally at the same time as this video. And some reason, like, this video didn't even explain it. Okay, so this one is a guide for SuperStar SM and JYP and STARSHIP and WOOLLIM and GFRIEND. So basically, this one is what I'm talking about. It's like a more detailed version of this guide. This one just tells you the difference between what x-axis and y-axis is, but this one tells you how to full SP on x-axis, which is important for a lot of people. This is also before the actual like UI update, so where you could change the size of your notes. This one is using big notes because this was before you even had the option to change notes. So these are big. So focus on the center of each note. So that means that if you have big notes, you would have to tap on the center area right here. As you can see here with a little smiley face. This song is Something Kinda Crazy by Red Velvet. And so with these notes, you see all these colored lines. So you have the red lines, which indicate the actual center of the note. So this one's actually a little bit more difficult because when you go off to the side, so if you go far to the left, if you go left too far, then you can see that this is actually a slanted line. But the notes in the middle are a lot more straighter. So it's easier to judge what the center of the notes will be just by going up the middle of this lane. But if you go off to the right side or the left side, these are going to be more slanted because they're not going to come straight down since everything kind of comes from the center in the distance. When they come down into your screen, into the little touch bar right here, you can see that there is a big difference between where it shows up and where it ends up. So what you need to do is you need to tap within these blue boxes on the bottom. So the blue boxes you can see are still within the blue lines right here. So the blue lines are connected from the edge of the area where you should be tapping. You just need to stay within this area on either side, and then you're able to get a super perfect. If you go too far to the left or too far to the right, then that's a perfect. There's also these goods, and you can only get goods if you tap too early or tap too late. You can never get a good by tapping too far to the left or to the right. So whenever you get a good, it's most likely because you actually tapped a note too early, or you just kind of had a brain lag and then you tapped the note too late. So yeah, that's all there is to it. And he didn't explain this once in the video. Okay, so this guy, he only really explained what like things you can do. This is like not even like specific to SuperStar games. It's exactly as he said. These are not just tips for SuperStar games. This can help you extend your abilities to other rhythm games as well. Which is true because these barely help for SuperStar games. None of these are actually functionally related to the game. And it's just such a bad video. It's just, I don't, like, this guy is not, he's not really like talking about the game for the game. Everything he said in that video is just like useless. I don't like flaming people, but when you're like trying to give all these tips and stuff and none of them actually like seriously help, none of them are actually good tips, and even you said yourself that this is not a good tip, then like what are you gonna do? And I know that like before at the start of this video I was saying that, hey, I'll just watch all 3 of these because you know, I kind of want to get into everything and then figure out like whether all these tips are good or not. But after watching this one video, I have like no more hope, because I tried sitting through everything in the first, like, I spent 5 minutes listening to him talking about calibration and doing this weird dance. Like, this is not good. Like, he doesn't talk about what calibration is, he just talks about the types of players. And that's like basically the kind of tips that he gave for the whole video. Like, none of these are actually functionally helpful. It's like someone who doesn't play the game, but he plays enough other games, so he just kind of like puts together, hey, this is how it works. This is how you play a rhythm game. You go with the rhythm. You tap the notes, but not too hard. None of them is actually talking about like, hey, if you want to hit super perfects, this is how it functionally works in the game. If you want to get better at certain, you know, things in the game, like if you want to get better at super perfects, then you can play like Red Velvet Time for Love, because at the start of the song you have the notes that start on the right side and slowly inch towards the middle, and if you can hit 2 perfects on all of those really slowly, then that means you understand the concept of what 2 perfects are. These are very specific tips that he did not go over, and so that's why this video is horrible. And I feel like all these people who watched this video and looked for anything that could possibly help, it just doesn't, they didn't get it. That's all there is to this. I wanted it to be like something a lot more engaging, but like this guy, like, what is he doing? It's so bad. And you know, watching over everything, hopefully you can understand why I would say so, because you wouldn't have gotten to this point in the video if you hadn't looked over everything already. So yeah, that's gonna be the video. If you like this video, be sure to, you know, comment down below, talk about, you know, have a nice little discussion about this video. If you don't want to flame him on his channel, then you can just come to me and flame him on my channel. That's fine. You have all the likes, you have, you know, you have subscribes, you have my Instagram, you have my Twitter. If you want to ask me specific questions on how to get better at the game, you can go into Twitter, you can open up the Q&A, you can figure out what anonymous questions you want to ask me. I answer on there, and then it gets posted onto Twitter. There's also a Discord for all the people who like to talk about SuperStar games in chat rooms but don't really have many people they know to talk with. You can join the Discord server in the link below, and you can, you know, talk with a whole bunch of people from around the world. This is a 24/7 like active server because you have people all around the world, different time zones. You always have someone to talk to. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you like these kinds of videos, subscribe. If you really like these videos, comment so I know to keep making videos like these. And so, yeah, any other suggestions, feel free to, you know, hit me up. And until next time, then I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope you have a great day.